So are you going anywhere? Oh, y'all are going to the beach, right?
Going to the beach.
And you just went to the beach.
I know.
But
There's a difference. There's a difference between Galveston and South Padre.
Okay,
At some point, that Mississippi mud dissipates.
I saw this video on Instagram about this, like, beach area, I guess that's like 20 miles. I think they said it was 20 miles south of South Padre or north. I don't remember. Somewhere along South Padre, and it's some 20-mile radius. But they, it's like a very, like uncharted territory, I guess. And it looked like raw beach land. Like there's no residents there. I mean, like you have to have 4-wheel drive, no roads really like going there. I don't know where exactly it is, but I'm going to find out because it looked so cool.
That sounds like the beginning of a lot of horror movies. You go to these beaches and it's just like, hey, like some guy's like, hey, you want to come to an unexplored beach? And then it's like, then you have to fight for your life. And it's...
Oh, I'm not prepared for that.
Yeah. I think that's what the premise of... It's a terrible movie, but the M. Night Shyamalan, he had that movie called Old.
Old?
Old. That's what it's called. Old. And
no,
it's
I've
like,
never heard of it.
It was all about people being like intrigued about going to this private beach, but once they get there, it like just kills them pretty much, and so they have to try to figure out how to survive. And
oh my gosh! Well,
so that's
never
what
mind.
you just explained.
Never
so I was
mind.
like, all this.
Change my mind.
No, it does sound good, and that's the thing. Like any of these, or not TV, but like commercials that you see of these like resorts and all that, and the same thing could be hotels, right? So notice this. Anytime they show things, it's always like very like, oh, it's like just this one couple on the beach. And it's like, this could be you. But in real life, it's like there's kids everywhere screaming.
Oh, for sure.
On the hotels, it always shows the empty pool. Like there's no one else there. But you get there again, like there's just people everywhere. Some guy floating in an inner tube eating a hot dog in the middle of the pool. And
it's
just,
Carl.
Yeah. And just like, it's just like, yeah, this is exactly what the commercials were like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that's definitely misrepresentation.
Oh, but no, it was fun at, going to even Galveston. You know, that's one of those things. I will make fun of it, but I've heard other people say, yeah, we'll make fun of it. But you know what? That's our beach.
It is our beach.
That is our brown.
Not everybody has
brown
a beach.
water. It is ours.
That's right. That's right. And you know, a hurricane tried to wipe it away years ago, and we're gonna claim it forever now.
Seaweed everywhere, and just
yeah,
it's just beautiful. But, well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Beach Talk. This is our new podcast, and we talk about beaches all in Texas.
All the Texas beaches.
Yeah. We only have 3 episodes to go.
Like the little patch of sand down there by the bayou.
Yeah.
Anyway, never mind. It's the
Next Day Podcast.
The next day on your discipleship journey.
I'm Chad.
I'm Christy.
And there's no Emmy Faye today.
Womp womp.
But
she was so excited.
Do you want to tell people like how she felt about it?
Oh, yes. This was like the highlight of her week, I'm pretty sure, last week. She told everybody that she came in contact with. Guess what? I was on the Next Day Podcast.
Yeah. I think Randy Baker was the same way. He's like, guess what? I was on the Next Day Podcast.
But, you know, and then everybody's response was, we have a podcast?
Probably. Probably.
Not for long.
I know. Not for long. If you are listening, so just a reminder, this day, the daily podcast, those are going to be coming to an end at the end of June. But you can also fill out there's somewhere on our podcast it's called an update, and I have like a podcast ending update. Look for that because there is a link in the description for filling out a survey to let us know what you've been listening to. Have you been listening to all our podcasts, like the This Day and the Next Day and the sermons?
We just want to know.
Yeah, and all that's going to be helpful. We actually had someone submit, and I think they're from out of state, and they say they listen to it. They're clergy. And they listen to the This Day every morning when they're making their coffee.
Well, that is lovely.
And I don't know who this person is. Like so I'm curious to know how they got connected and all this.
That's cool.
But people do listen to these. So, but if you do listen, let us know what you've enjoyed about this, and then that could be helpful coming up.
Yeah,
in
what
the
you want to
future.
see more of, and we're trying to figure out what comes next for us.
Yeah, but this is the Next Day podcast for today, and we're gonna be talking about the sermons that you got to hear on Sunday. So I don't know, Christy, I need your help with this because I don't know if y'all were jumping around, but if you're in the Element, you got to hear Christy.
That's right.
Was Carl at West? I'm assuming.
Carl was at West.
Okay,
yes.
and then who
Yes,
did traditional?
Lee was in
Yes.
traditional.
Okay, because I think Preston is out of town.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So you get to hear those. We'll have those up as well. And then, we just finished up with Bridge. Yeah. And so Bridge, we did a special episode of this last year, I believe.
That's right, which was why you were at the beach.
Oh, yeah. Because we were in Galveston. So this is the second year. So this is our fifth Bridge year, right? And it's funny seeing some of the adults and everyone who have like shirts from previous years, and very few of us. I think Florence and I are the only ones who have all 5 years worth of shirts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all the different colors and all that. But this is our second time going back to Galveston, and I'll have much to share about it because it actually ties in very well with the sermon that you did. When I was listening to your sermon, Christy, like a lot of things you were saying, I was like, that sounds like what we talked about. Oh, that sounds like this. So I'll have much to talk about it. But Bridge was our junior high trip. Again, we joined up with other UMC churches here in KD, and we went to Galveston, and we teamed up with Central United Methodist Church, and we just learned a lot about how they serve in the community.
And there's such if you've not heard of Central UMC, they are a very unique kind of church.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's very much responding to the needs of their community. And, I love the example of like, well, we don't need Sunday school classrooms. We don't need more Sunday school classrooms. We need laundry facilities.
Yeah, laundry. We need places for them to get medical help.
Yeah.
And so, but one thing they also do is their sanctuary. I mean, this is an old church. It's from the 1800s. It was part of the Episcopal Methodist South. It's from a long time ago.
There was a lot of drama in the beginning when they were like, we are going to make these changes to respond to what our community needs.
Oh, they barely had anybody attending. They weren't really realizing the need of the community.
Right.
And so they were really hurting in attendance. But anyways, but their sanctuary has a few pews, like wooden kind of old style pews, but then they have a bunch of couches and just other kind of office type chairs and just things like that. And because they said they want this to just feel like you're in a living room and just having a conversation during church. And so with Bridge is the idea of you take ideas, what you learn in these communities, and bridge it back to your own community. What can you do? And I made the joke on Sunday when we were worshiping there that I'm sure all the students here are going to go back home and argue that they need couches in the sanctuary.
That's right. Hey, we're getting rid of our pews, so let's put couches in there.
And so I told them, hey, y'all go tell, because we're making some changes with our sanctuaries. Like, hey, go tell, hey, we need couches in here.
Right.
Go argue that.
That would make it.
Yeah.
That would make it real different.
But anyways, it was really fun. We got to go to the beach one day. Luckily, the rain held off, and so that was fun. But we just served at different places there, and the students were great. They were very strong workers. We had to paint some stuff with red paint, so you couldn't tell what was paint or if there was blood all over it.
Oh my gosh,
it looked like
terrifying.
It looked like a kind of a dangerous, thing that they were going through.
That is terrifying.
But Anywho, but let's get to our icebreaker question.
All right.
All this talk about, this place in Texas. So, Christy, other than Katy, and let's even say like Houston.
Okay.
If you could live anywhere else in Texas.
In Texas? Oh my gosh.
If you could live anywhere else in Texas, where would you live? Now remember, Texas is kind of like 5 different states in itself. You could divide it up and all these different kind of regions and
Very true.
But if you could live anywhere else in Tejas, where would you live?
I think I would live like in hill country, like Dripping Springs kind of area. I mean, it's getting really packed in there now. Like, I mean, tons of people move to the hill country now, but I think a smaller kind of town would be really nice and with like just beautiful scenery. I love the hill country. I mean, that's where we went to San Marcos, went to Texas State for school. So a little bit of my heart stayed in the hill country for sure.
In the old hill country.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of those things where I could say this and people may roll their eyes going, yeah, you think that, but you'll hate it. But because, it's one of those things, you vacation there quite a bit, but it really would, for some reason, I just really think I would want to be on the coast somewhere. I mean, if it was Galveston, I feel like that would be nice, but, it could be, and really, like, all the times we vacation in South Padre, there's really not the most there. I'm trying to think of how to be a local there because everything's so touristy.
Yeah,
right?
No, I know.
Like even on the island, there's not really a grocery store. You have to kind of go across to Port Aransas to get to a grocery store. But for some reason, I'll be ignorant about it. I feel like I would love to live somewhere along the coast, maybe at South Padre or maybe Corpus Christi to be somewhere closer to like a larger city.
Yeah.
But I think I would love to be on one of those houses on a stilts. I think I would like that. I've always liked the look of those, as odd as that is. I know it's practical that they're up on stilts due to the flooding and all that, but I've always been like, I kind of like it. I kind of like that you go hang out underneath your house. You go park your car under it or something. Yeah. But anyways, I don't know. Maybe that's just a child in me that would just love that. But
maybe the novelty would wear off at some point. But
that's what I think. People will be like, "Oh, you would hate it." I'm like, but let me try it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you would love it. I do think that people that live there, they love it. You know?
Yeah.
They stayed for a reason.
Yeah. So
coastal living would be a cool novel experience for sure.
And I'm sure they get annoyed by tourists and all that too. And so, but I don't know. I think that would be cool.
I'd come visit.
Yay. Notice how no one said, I'd like to go up to the Panhandle where it's just plain and bare.
Nope. That's not where I desire to be personally.
Yeah.
No shade though. No shade.
No. Well, I guess I could go somewhere by a lake. Go to somewhere like a nice lake somewhere. Like
I mean,
Lake Travis or something could be nice.
I do like Aledo, up near Dallas and all of that. Mm-hmm. That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's starting to get all built up too.
Yeah. Well, we're in Katy now.
Here we are.
All right, so we are in our new sermon series, Step Right Up.
Woo!
This is the greatest show. So it is a very circus theme, VBS. And so we're doing a sermon series based off what they're doing at VBS because each day has a theme and the scripture focus. But then we're kind of spreading that out through the Sundays for the next, for a sermon series and everything. And so what was the theme for this week? It was
Show God's Love.
Show God's Love,
yes.
Yeah. And so
to someone new was specifically, I think, what the kids are learning is, show God's love to someone new.
Yeah, and that that's a very important thing is to show God's love. I guess that's what the church is supposed to be.
And that's what I keep saying about this sermon series is like it is VBS curriculum, so it feels like okay, this is church light, This is like we're not going deep into anything here, and I'm like, but this is like we we've got to be solid on this stuff, because I think it is when we think, oh, this is elementary basics of Christianity, blah, blah, blah. And then we just, kind of abandon those core truths for all of this like nuanced, deep theological content. We can get into trouble, like that's when we start forgetting about like who we are. And
that's why I've always been, I won't go on a long rant about confirmation, but like the idea for confirmation is like, oh yeah, these people will learn all this basic stuff about our faith and our denomination, all that at 6th grade, and they'll never learn about it ever again. It's like, no, we should be learning about this all the time, because I think there's things that they learn in 6th grade that our adults don't even know. Like when we're talking about Wesleyan grace, when we're talking about the quadrilateral, when we're talking about just the history of the church, when we're talking about the Apostles' Creed and just the basics of our faith, like that's all stuff the adults here, like they may not know any of this. And anytime I do bring up stuff that seems like it's so Christianity 101, there's always someone in the congregation, I've been coming to church here forever and I've never learned this. It's kind of like, so there's nothing, I don't know what there ever is basic in our faith. Like there's always something that everybody needs to know.
No, it feels it does feel like basics, to some degree, maybe to us, because, we, especially if you've like been doing a lot of like higher theological thinking for your job, like you and I do on a more regular basis, right? That it's like, oh, this feels really basic. But like, I mean, I had so many people come up to me on Sunday, like an abnormal amount. I was telling you earlier that like, I don't always have people come up to me and like comment on the sermon, but I had an abnormal amount of people come up to me commenting on the sermon yesterday. And not
positives.
Positives, yes.
So that was 2 people.
Yes.
Was it abnormal?
It was that is true. Yes, whoa. That would also be an abnormal. It was more than 2. I don't know. I didn't keep count, but I was just thought to myself, like, man, this is like a lot of people, and they were all saying the same thing. It wasn't like this was like a fantastic sermon. It was just like they were like, I just love that we're that this hit home so much because it's so simple. Yeah. Like it's not So I had one person say, I get really distracted really easily. I have a short attention span. So like sometimes the big big stuff, I get really lost in all of it. But this is such a simple thing. And it was so, it was so digestible, to be able to like, to hear this and be convicted by it and, go home with something that I'm not feeling lost in this like big theological concept. So these sermons are so important. This content is so important to like talk about the elementary stuff.
Mm-hmm. If anything, these kids, they're learning it, but they're probably living it more better than the adults. And so it's more of a lesson for the adults too.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. So this is all about. So you read from Romans, is that right?
Yes.
And so Romans
12, 9 through 13 was the text, which is a really beautiful text. I did not. I usually reference this kind of text as a Hobby Lobby scripture.
Oh yeah, just one of those. It's right there next to the live, laugh, love signs.
Yes, like it's like, oh, these are really beautiful sentiments about the church, and it is. It's like, love, let your love be genuine. It's in the passage is the one that's like, rejoice in hope, be patient in affliction, be constant in prayer, which I have definitely seen on a Hobby Lobby sign before.
Right next to this wine o'clock somewhere or something.
Definitely. But like really, it's like they're really sweet sentiments, right? But like Paul did not mean these as sweet sentiments.
It was like almost criticism and like yeah.
Not necessarily. It's an exhortation, right? And it's like this is what will set you apart as the church.
Be holy people.
Yes.
Set apart. How are they going to know you're Christians? It's not about what you're wearing.
Yeah, no.
It's
They
not-
will know we are
Christians buy our
love.
WWJD
Bracelets,
bracelets
yeah.
and my cross necklace and I'm listening to KSBJ and
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's how they'll know. It's like, no, they'll know you're Christians by
Our love.
by our love, and they'll know we are Christians by our love.
Such a good
We
one.
are one with the Spirit.
That one
We-
always sounded really like daunting. You know, it's just like very, very ominous or something.
I would get chills whenever we would sing that. I forgot. We did like some sort of retreat, and it was like all this group of men were just singing that, and it was like this booming voices. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah. No, it's good. But anyway, that's Paul is writing this as an exhortation to the early church. Sorry about all the coughs, Chad.
Yeah.
Exhortation to the early
It
church.
reminds me of our sponsor, Hall's Cough Drops.
I didn't have any. I don't have any in here.
Apparently, they don't work if you're taking them. No.
I haven't even tried. Coffee is not working. Oh, that's the problem. Coffee.
You're drinking
Oh,
coffee.
that's
That's what
why.
it is.
Anyway, so
Womp, womp.
Paul writes Romans. One of the things that's important to know is like the context of Romans, and that this was sort of a divided church at this point, the church that he's writing to, because the Jewish Christians had been expelled from Rome for like 5 years by Emperor Claudius, and had pretty much like just come back. And so they're back together as the church in Rome with the Gentile Christians, but they've have a lot of division between them because like in the 5 years, the Jewish Christians had kind of been figuring out Christianity on their own, but believing, well, we have to keep adhering to the law and the Torah and all of that. And then, you know, thank God for Jesus, you know, that we have salvation, you know, our Messiah has come, but not that Jesus was sufficient, right? Like that grace was sufficient for them, that they had to continue to adhere to this law, and the Messiah had come. And then the Gentile Christians, they didn't have that history of the law. And so to them, this was like, well, no, like Jesus is sufficient. So there was a lot of...
Wait, how come they don't have to get circumcised? Wait a minute. Hey,
Right.
hey, how come?
Right. We had to do all of this stuff.
Wait.
You guys have to have it as hard as we did. No, I mean, right. So there's like some division of understanding
Gentiles
how it is.
over there eating their bacon cheese sandwiches.
That's right.
Which
That's
is
right.
an interesting sandwich, but
Bacon
they're
and
BLTs. They're eating their BLTs, and then the Jewish Christians like, I want that.
No,
How come I
we
can't?
can't have that, right? So there's a lot of division in understanding how it is that they are, what it means to be a Christian. And so Paul had like two purposes in writing this letter. So one was to basically like systematically explain this theology of Jesus Christ and who Jesus is and how faith, the grace that we receive through faith in Jesus, is sufficient for all people to be saved. And then, so this is chapters 1 through 11. So I was saying on Sunday, like, if you want a deep theological dive, read Romans.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It is a lot, but it's good. I mean, it's one of the most theologically rich books of the New Testament. So then at chapter 12, though, which is where we jump in, there's this really distinct turn in the book, in the letter, where Paul goes from like systematic, you know, methodology, Methodists like it, method, you know, of like, this is what it means, this is who Jesus is, this is who we are, to, okay, so how do we live now? What does that mean for us in our daily living? And so, you know, he starts this chapter with the very, we know this really common one, you know, in verse 8, don't conform to the patterns of this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And Pastor Yesley talked really extensively about that in her sermon, and talking about like spiritual practices and service and all of this, that like even religion, right? Like what we do as in tradition is something that binds us together, and it continues renewing us and transforming us to be like Christ in the world. But he starts there and goes on with all of these like exhortations, right? So in the 9 through 13, it goes on from there. But there's 13 individual encouragements that Paul gives to the church in just 9 through 13.
Oh, geez.
And the first one of that is let your love be genuine, is what he says.
No fake love.
Right. And like, the thing is that you might gloss over that.
It's kind of like someone, oh, bless their heart. It's not
Right.
like, do you mean that? Or are you saying that like petty, like,
Right,
oh, bless
right.
their heart? I was like, oh, bless her heart. That's the ugliest child I've ever seen. It's like, aw.
Oh my gosh. So, he starts off with this whole list of encouragements with let your love be genuine. And it would be something that you might gloss over. You're just like, okay, yeah, genuine love, go on. Yeah, got it. Check, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of these things. Because then it's like, consider the people around you that are in need and show hospitality and be faithful to prayer in your own life and always maintain, joy in your life and try to just outdo one another with this passionate love for one another, that we would want passionately for people to know Jesus Christ. Right. And so, it's all these encouragements, but I really, really locked in on let your love be genuine.
Yeah.
Because everything else, if your love is not genuine, none of the other stuff will happen. Right? Like nothing else that is said.
It's like, don't be a poser, right?
Don't be a poser.
Yeah. Don't just sit there and say, oh, yeah, I'm Christian and we go to church and all that. But then it's like your life and your attitude
Yeah.
and everything else just is like no one would ever know.
Right.
If it wasn't for you telling people, which is like, that's like an old quote of like, you should never have to tell someone you're a Christian.
Right. Yeah.
Like they should just know it by your love.
I don't remember who said it, but preach the gospel at all times and when necessary, use words.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, we definitely, we got to, like Paul did, right? Explain, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
But in our living, like it should be the first question is like, why do you live the way that you live?
Yeah.
Why are you the way that you are? In a positive way, right? Like, how have you gone through what you've gone through in your life? And you're still so joyful.
Yeah.
What is it? Right? You want people to ask these questions. Man, you are always so kind and patient. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
How are you able to be so kind and patient, right? That it would be something that people genuinely, or they see that is genuine in our lives. And then, we get to the center of who we are, which is like, well, it's because of Jesus. It's because of this love that God, has poured into us. But one of the, the things that I locked in on a lot on Sunday is this word genuine, right? That Paul uses the Greek word here, anapokritos, which
I thought you said any kind of Pringles.
Any kind of Pringles.
Any kind of Pringles. Any kind of
Anapokritos. Anapokritos. Yeah, so this is a word that this is what it translates to genuine or sincere. Depending on your translation, it's something like that. But it's literally in the Greek, kritos, there's a root word here. Anna is like without, and kritos is like hypocrisy, right?
Oh, without, yeah.
So without hypocrisy, anapokritos. That's what it's saying here. Don't be a hypocrite.
Which hypocrite has Greek origins. It's from Greek theater.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Greek theater. Yeah. Because actors would put on a mask to become something else.
Exactly.
And so they were hypocrites because they were becoming something else.
Oh, I love that.
And they were these actors. So that's why Hippocrates was like kind of this known thing. And that's kind of where that comes from. I think that's what we learned in theater. That's my theater
I wish we
major
would have
stuff.
talked. I would have talked about
I know.
that on Sunday.
But yeah, because
exclusive to the Next Day podcast.
Because Greek theater, they were known for wearing masks, and they became something else than what they were.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's.
But don't do that with your faith. Don't put on your Christian mask.
Yeah, with your love.
And then take it off for the rest of the week. And
Right.
take it off for the rest of everything. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Don't put on your Christian mask when you're talking with other people in your church. But then whenever there's someone not part of your church, you take that mask off.
Right.
Or especially while you're driving. And then
Yeah.
you're like...
That's what we talked about that on Sunday, you know, just like, I actually, there was an audible, like, ooh, you know, like, whoa, on Sunday when we were talking about, you know, this masked, what you're talking about is, you know, when people wear the mask at church and then they take off the mask, or when it's convenient for them, right? They're going to wear the mask because they, you know, they got to look good. They got to look like a good Christian. But, you know, I was telling the congregation, and I don't know, maybe you know this statistic, that in the service industry,
oh, Lord.
they know, it's a shared narrative, it's a real statistic, that the rudest, most demanding customers are people that just came from a church service on Sunday morning, and the lowest income in tip money is on Sunday mornings after church.
I heard you say this on your sermon, and now, okay, I just have a mixed feeling of like tips in general.
I know.
So I'll try not to go on a long rant about tips, but how you treat somebody, that's inexcusable. Like, you should always treat whoever's your server with kindness and respect. Don't just go in there and just be a terrible person and just be a jerk. Don't do that. But I do hate the idea that somehow you're seen as a good person by how much you give them money. and I'm just like, because I've been there before where I would treat them with respect, and I've been tip shamed because apparently I gave too little amount, and that makes me a terrible person just because I gave what I thought was a fair amount, and apparently I hate that idea.
Well, that's not the idea.
Yeah, I hope it's more of the attitude of like how they treat one another.
It is, and
if the waiter or waitress, like, if they make a mistake, what a great opportunity for you to practice grace and be like, it's okay. Can you please correct this? Or don't be a jerk about it, and like. So there are examples of how you could do that.
Well, and I know, like, my sister's been in the service industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, for her, if the tips aren't very good, then she is struggling because, like, her base pay is not very good. They count on servers making tips. You know, it's like part of the industry. So it's...
Which, I'm not
which,
going to go on my rant
but
about...
Again, like, this is where, like, you know, maybe some of... we've talked about at other times that it's a systemic kind of issue, right? That we are a part of with other types of industries. But this industry, like, that's a systemic issue. We can't really solve.
I would love to change it.
I know. I mean, we could solve it maybe. I don't know how.
The employers should pay their employees
fairly,
fair wages, but apparently they're like, nope. We'll let the customer split the bill and like pay you, and it's up to them, and you're at their mercy.
I know, it's a whole thing. But anyway, not to get sidetracked.
I know. I went on a rant yesterday with Sable about it. We both are in agreement. We're like, the system doesn't make any sense. Like,
I know. I mean, I would love to put a tip, we should put a little like tip jar. Did you like the sermon? Was it good?
Yeah, do that. Like, because now, like, there's so many other jobs that they're asking for tips, and you're like, I didn't know that we had to tip these people.
That's
like,
what the offering plate is, right?
Yeah,
it's my tip jar.
That's why some people do the offering after the sermon, so you did a good sermon with a bigger turnout.
Oh my gosh, no.
You ever have we do the offerings before the sermon, and someone after your sermon goes, can I take something back? Can I take that back? I didn't like what she said about this.
Yeah, we have an order at the counter, pay at the counter situation.
Anyways, I won't go on much longer rants of that. But no, and I've heard that before, and yeah.
But it's again, like, this is just like, we cannot be hypocritical.
No.
And it's not just in the restaurant industry. It's like, it goes with all of these other things, like that we are aware, or maybe we're like putting our head in the sand and just like
Yeah.
ignoring all of these issues in our community or the ways that we're called to help. And it's like if we are a people who will, stand up in worship services on a Sunday morning, and then we won't stand up for what we know is right and good in the world, like there's something wrong.
And that's, people really need to, I mean, we're not going to talk much about like politics and all that, but like you really need to look into like, here's what we believe as the church. Here's what we believe in our faith. We need to be reflecting love. We need to be fighting for justice for all people. And when you vote, hopefully your vote reflects that.
Yeah, right. And it's like, we're not going to tell you.
Whoever you're going for, make sure you're looking at like, is this reflecting what the church is about? And I know we could debate all day about like what certain things are, but
again, this is like, and this is where we go back to Romans, right?
Yeah.
Like their community that was very divided in what they believed Christian living looked like.
Yeah.
We're not so different.
Yeah.
We're a people who are divided on that so much, but Paul's like, forget those differences, forget the nuances. Where is the love?
Yeah.
Like if your love is truly genuine, then it rises above all of those things. Like that is what unites us. And truly, like, in a perfect world, we're all like, oh, we agree on everything because of our love. It's more complex than that.
Yeah.
Like it's probably not going to look like that. But how do we treat each other? How are we respectful to one another?
So that's where, going back to Bridge, and we talk about Central, Central Church Galveston, and so we had this opportunity to learn from that. And again, like you just have to look them up. They do worship online and all that, but man, they really do, like, they are a church where they make sure everybody knows that they are welcome there. Everybody is welcome there. And so when we were in this, like, they have a lot of people who are unhoused, people with drug addictions. There's a guy there who is a former gang member, and he was actually kind of more of a hitman for a gang, and he's killed people.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he's sharing his story about how, the mistakes he's made, and he was baptized there.
Wow.
And so here's this thing where all people now, they are a safe place. They want to make sure this is a safe place for everybody. So it's not like it's just, some people may hear some of this and go, it sounds like chaos. It's like, no, there's order to it. And sometimes they have to ask people to leave, but they make sure there's always a way for them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's helping them get rehabilitated from drugs. Maybe that's helping them get the resources they need to find a job and to get the health needs they have. And here's what I love the most when I heard, because they had an opportunity for some of their church members share with our students, and it was like students could ask questions, and they shared about what life was like living on the streets, what life was like dealing with addiction and things like that. And some of them said, like, you know what? Sunday mornings are fine. Sunday morning, I enjoy coming here for worship. Sunday morning is fine, but I need a church that's there for me all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's what Central, like, they see this as a place that's like, this is a place I can come to. I am in need of help because of my addiction. I'm coming to this church. Right. I am in need. I need food. I need this. And they could come to this church. And a lot of people may just see their church as, that's where I go just to learn about the Bible. And that's fine. That is an important thing to the church. And the church should never neglect that. But man, like, what else are we offering to the community where people see us as a beacon, as, oh, this is a place. And so their doors to their sanctuary are red. And apparently there's a history to that of a red door showed people during times of like World War II and other stuff that when people are fleeing from home and they see red doors and go, that's a sanctuary for me. That's where I can go to get help. And so they do that. And so, and so they are, the stories you hear from there, they are bringing heaven here on earth. Compared to, I have been at churches, somebody is unhoused and they come into the church doors and they immediately call the cops. I've seen that before. Church
Yeah.
members call the cops immediately going, oh, this person looks sketchy. Let's call the police.
Right.
And it's kind of like, they're just here. Like, did you even talk to them? Did you even ask them? Like, maybe they're just here to worship. Like, maybe they're... So it's just something that, I don't know.
It's a very, very cool, I say concept for a church, which sounds, it's like, it is the church.
It is.
That was the whole concept.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like today, it is a concept for a church.
Yeah.
It's not what you get at every church. And I love what they're doing there. I mean, it's really, really cool.
And they definitely don't. And one thing is, they do go around and they talk and they share stuff with other places. They shared at conference this year. But one thing they'll never do, I mean, they'll always tell people, like, we understand our context.
Yeah.
This is our church is in this community. Like that gang member I was telling you, he lived across the street.
Wow.
Like, he lived across the street and he would always be on his patio. And he said that what brought him over there was he kept noticing all these, what we would consider like strange, like homeless people were showing up. And he was like, what's all this about? And so that brought him in. Like, but just hearing all that, like, and so every community may have their own needs. And so don't think you have to replicate what they're doing, but they realize, no, here's what this community really needs. They don't just need another worship service and Bible study. They need a place where they can get medical help. They need a place where they can do laundry and take a shower and all that.
Yeah. No, it's very, very cool. I think that if you get a chance to go out there, it's definitely worth a trip.
Yeah. And I love that you shared the Gandhi quote too. That's
yes.
always impactful. I love your Christ, but not your Christians.
Don't like your Christians.
Yeah.
I just love that your Christians are so unlike your Christ.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
and we're all guilty of that. Like it's a struggle, right? I still debate on what's the best reaction if someone's on the street corner asking for money. Like, what is the best thing I can do? I go back and forth on whether to give them money or change. I go back and forth on giving them, but I do try to, like, I'm going to look at them in the eye and I'm going to smile and I'm going to wave.
That
like,
is, if you
I don't know what else.
That is the best thing to do.
And I'm not. So we may not have all the answers. We could do research and figure out what we could better do, but at the same time, like, just know that it's not your job to solve homelessness. It's not your job to solve all these things. But we, the church, we do have a job.
Yeah.
And that's to share this love. And what's the best way we can share love in these moments?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if we disagree politically, we disagree in other things, it's like, well, how do we still show love in these moments?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Well, good stuff.
Y'all just love.
Just love one another.
Christine, I've seen funny videos making fun of pastors on podcasts. And we probably are exactly.
Yeah.
Christy, love.
Wow.
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 Wow. Jesus and love. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. We probably sound just like that.
We
And
do.
so I hate being generic like that, but or maybe not.
You know.
Maybe not.
But it's an elementary kind of concept.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
gosh, we need to be reminded of it all the time. Look
really,
at our world.
And again, it all comes, love God, love others, love yourself.
Yep.
Love God. I mean, that just encompasses everything because you're not going to treat anyone bad. You're not going to think anyone lowly if you love God because you're going to love all of God's creation and people are God's creation. So love others.
Right.
Like,
love is this like transforming force in our world. I really believe it. And it is only from God that we can transform the world with love.
and I just came up with a quote.
Oh.
All you need is love.
All you need is love. I just came up with a
Did
melody.
you just come up with that?
Did.
Oh.
All you need is love.
Okay, don't sing too much because we can't afford that. We can't afford that. We definitely can't afford that.
Just kidding. I did not make that as the Beatles. That is the Beatles.
Oh, I thought that was the Monkees. Oh, my bad.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, but yeah, so y'all do your best to be prayerful. It's tough to love your enemies and those who get on your nerves. It's tough to do that. And there's situations where we don't know what to do. but be prayerful, be reflective of how can you show love in these moments. And yeah, let's just go out there and be the church, and let's go out there and love. So, all right, we're going to do our ministry shout out. I mean, a couple of things. I mean, we just finished with Bridge. You heard me talk about, so shout out for Bridge. Very fun. My last trip. My last trip with this church.
So sad. Oh my gosh.
I know. It was, and they gave me like a special gift. They signed like a helmet, and they gave it to me, and it was very special.
A helmet?
Yeah, like a safety hat kind of a thing.
Oh, that's sweet.
But anyways, and then VBS is happening. So a shout out for VBS happening at West Campus.
That's
and then
right.
we'll be talking more about it because there's going to be the one at Kingsland. But we also want to give a shout out of this way to share love in our community. And that's our summer pop-ups.
That's right.
A lot of these are either Bible studies, there's some fellowship events like games, and there's even mission stuff. So what do you need to say about the summer pop-ups?
Yeah, grab a summer pop-up guide or go to stbkd.org/missions or /summer. Both will get you to where you can see all sorts of things. I've got a mission project happening this weekend.
Uh-oh.
So does
Is she going to say it?
So does Katie Responds. We have two going on. So
But where's yours?
mine is at
Shamba
Shamba
Ya
Amani.
Amani. Yeah.
Woo, I'm so excited. So it'll be really cool being out there. I haven't been at this time in the summer in a while. So it's usually everything is in bloom and it's just like gorgeous. We'll be out there at 8:30 in the morning, so before it's too hot. But going out there to, help with some composting and garden beds and, just all sorts of the farm tasks that they typically need help with.
Just don't go shake the little bat house that they have.
No, don't shake
the
the
thing
bat
that
house.
keeps bats, and don't go shake that around.
Yeah, they're there to do good work too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm pumped about that. And then Katie Responds has one of their projects. They'll have another one in July as well. But this is their first project. So get on the website to register, just to let us know that you're coming, and we can be prepared and send you information about these little pop-ups. But they're intended to just be like, if you can't serve, like on a regular basis, or you are traveling a lot, or you're just like kind of curious, or you felt anything from any sermon you listened to on Sunday about serving. In the last 2 weeks, we've talked about serving. Then I really encourage you to do this. One thing that I think is really important is, we talk about noticing, right? Like just like noticing people in our community that are in need. This is a great way to practice noticing, like to go work with these nonprofits that exist because somebody noticed that there was a gap.
Yeah.
And that their community needed help. So this helps us practice noticing these kinds of things and how we can help fill the gap. So
and maybe you're like, I know I want to serve, but I just don't know how I like to serve.
Right.
Well, here's some opportunity. Maybe if it's gardening, well, go try it.
Right, you're
go
like,
try it.
I love gardening.
Yeah.
Maybe I could love gardening with, for this particular mission. Like, great, come on.
And if you do it, and you're like, that wasn't my thing. Well, then look at the next thing. Oh, well, we're going to be sorting clothes for Clothed by Faith. Well, maybe I'll go try that. And maybe you're like, oh, I like this because I could be in the AC. So maybe it's just just go and try it, and maybe it's helping with children and VBS, and maybe it's things like that. So. Yeah, I also like to think of somewhere in our church, somebody, there's like I'm imagining it's a wife who's seeing their husband, maybe they're off for the summer, maybe they're a teacher or something, and they're just like, you need to do something. So they're signing them up like for all these pop-ups, like their camps and like
you
like
need to get out of the house.
like their after-school programs. Here, I signed you up for these. Go make a friend.
This
Go.
is good too. I know at Shamba, not all of them are super family friendly because some of them have age restrictions, and I guess just things that younger kids probably couldn't.
There's
do.
a lot of cursing. And there's a lot of a lot of not family friendly.
No, none of that. But they. At Shamba, I know like you can bring your kids, and it's a really cool experience for you to serve together as a family, but for kids to be able to see you serving, to be a part of the work, and just like the very simple thing of seeing a farm, like seeing crops planted and grown and people like stewarding the earth like
Some
that.
of these
because
things
we don't see it.
you eat and you don't know what they look like. Like I know we saw one garden at in Galveston, and I saw okra and saw some cauliflower and other type of. I was like, whoa, that's what they look like.
Oh, I got okra growing in my backyard.
Yeah,
yeah, but it's cool. I mean, like I remember we showed at CWOW, we showed some of the kids that were there. We're like, oh, this is cabbage or this is lettuce, and they were like, whoa, it gets that big?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's huge. So anyway, come out and serve.
Yeah. And, but yeah, and again, look at that guide, and they're serving, but there's also just fellowship and other studies. So just, take advantage of it all. It's going to be a lot of fun. So,
it'll be really good.
All right. Well, there's only one more next day with me.
Gosh, and that's
we're gonna make this next one special. So my last Sunday is this coming Sunday, the 14th, and I'll be preaching in the Element. But so anyone listening is able to be there, cool. But otherwise, we'll be doing the next day, and that'll be my last one. But don't worry, we're still in the. I don't know. I have a feeling we might collab on stuff in the future or something. That there's, we're in the same district and conference and all that, so we're on the same team.
We can't.
So.
We're not gonna. You're not going to get rid of us so easy.
No. So, alrighty. Well, we will all see you next week on the Next Day Podcast.
See you next time.